Welcome back to Power Play. Nice to have you with us. Over the past 10 days, we've heard an awful lot of tax talk. Federal party announcements all seem to be peppered with promises of tax credits, tax breaks, tax hikes. Well, what does this all mean to the average Canadian? Joining us to talk about that in Toronto is Peter Coleman, the President and CEO of the National Citizens Coalition, which used to call Stephen Harper its president at one point in time. And with me here in Ottawa, straight off a home renovation project he was working on today, is National Director of the Canadian Taxpayers Federation, Derek Fildebrandt. Welcome to you both.
Thanks for having us.
I'm going to go to you first, Peter. It seems to me as tax fighters, there's credits and there's tax reductions. The credits are kind of like the rifle approach. The tax reductions in general are sort of like the shotgun approach. Which one works better?
Well, it depends if you're a politician or a taxpayer. I think if you're a politician, you like the boutique cuts, whether it's for tools, for laborers, fitness memberships. If you're a taxpayer, I think you'd rather see across-the-board cuts and put the money in your own pockets and have you do what you want with it. It's probably more effective that way.
But which gives you the bigger bang for the economic buck, though?
It depends.
Or neither of them?
It depends, Don, because it depends, what your tax bracket is, what your tax rates, whether these transit passes, as far as tax credits, those things have a benefit. It really depends where you are in your tax situation, because some people can't take advantage of some of the boutique cuts, if you will, and I think a lot of people prefer to have general tax cuts on the personal level and take advantage of things that way.
All right, so Derek, you're a fit guy. You could get a fitness credit from Stephen Harper if you wait for another 4 years, or if you vote for Michael Ignatieff and he can give you one for your home renovation project that you're straight out of. Which do you like better?
Well, I'm waiting for people to recognize the swing voter demographic of young right-handed men who work in Ottawa. I think we need to keep on narrowing down with as specific as possible till I finally get a tax credit meant just for Derek here. Tax credits are not actually tax cuts. They're actually a form of spending. Finance Canada actually calls them, when you're not looking, tax expenditures. They're a form of spending money because it's a way for government to create incentives for us to do what it wants. Does it want us to be fit, or does it want us to renovate our house, put our kids in music lessons? It's a way for government and politicians to create incentives to tell us what to do. So they're not actually tax cuts. They're a form of expenditure. What we need to see in this campaign, and what we've only seen partially with income splitting, is across the board income tax cuts. That means everybody gets the benefit, and not just pre-approved government demographics that might fit into different swing voter categories.
Okay, Peter, you've been listening to all the campaign noise. Are you hearing anything on tax policy that you think makes a lot of sense and should move ahead?
No, I'm hearing a lot of hot air, like Derek's saying. I'm not seeing anything in the campaign that will leave you to believe that the tax issue on the personal side is really a top-of-the-mind issue. You're hearing a lot on the corporate side, and there's a lot of mechanics as far as playing with those numbers. But in the personal side of things, you're not really hearing very much in that side of the equation.
Is that what you as the NCC boss would like to see, more attention to the individual taxpayer tax cuts rather than the corporate tax cuts?
You want to see reasonable taxation levels so that the average guy can actually make ends meet and help support his family. And I think that the personal tax rates in this country are still way too high. Part of it's because the governments, quite frankly, Don, are way too big. I mean, the federal government's now at $250 billion. They need the tax revenue to support that big monster in Ottawa. So I think the average person would like to see the government get smaller and leave more of that tax money in people's hands, because governments don't pick winners or losers very well, Don. And if government's job is one thing, is to create the right economic environment, let people invest their own money and keep it in their own pockets, it's much more effective than government tinkering around the edges.
All right. I'm sorry, Derek. You got a choice between corporate income tax cuts or personal income tax cuts. Which do you want?
Well, it shouldn't be a choice. Of course, if it gives me a choice.
Be a choice.
I'm a person. I'm not a corporation, so of course I like a personal income tax cut. But we have to look in the greater context of the economy, what's going to create jobs. I also like having a job and having an income to begin with. And so in that sense, business tax cuts are good, and the government should be commended for that. That's going to create jobs. It's going to keep jobs in Canada. Those are positive measures. But the government has been, and all parties right now have been incredibly negligent of income tax payers, personal income taxes. We've seen, of course, boutique tax cuts or tax credits, as we just discussed, but we've not seen any party rake very serious moves on across-the-board personal income tax rates. And lower income tax rates for individuals, personal income taxes, it encourages people to work more, to invest more, and gets rid of the disincentives to work that we see in our income tax code right now. And so it should not be a matter of just business or just individuals, but businesses seeing strong measures in that sense, and it's time for that individual personal income taxpayers got a break too.
Well, amen to that. Okay, Peter Coleman and Derek Fildebrandt, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you taking the time to come in.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay, Ontario and Quebec are seeing red and promises to fund the Lower Churchill project.